Alright, Crash Hill, attempt 4. Here we go.
On October 3rd, 1946, a plane with 39 people aboard crashed into a fog-hidden mountain 7.5 kilometers from the Harmon Air Base. Unfortunately, no one survived. At the time, it was called history's worst air crash. Unfortunately, no one survived. All is left is some plane wreckage and a monument at which is now called Crash Hill.
Okay, so we just got in a little ways and we drove in further this way. We got really close to Crash Hill. I think we're about 2,500 feet away from it. So this is about as far as we can drive on quads. We could probably get a bit further, but it's not worth it. And we're just going to walk in the rest of the way. So here goes nothing. Okay, so about a quarter of a kilometer from the bike. It's a bit of a rough hike up through here, but it's a moose trail. And if you look over in the distance, you can see Stephenville, Port Harmon down there. So we are getting close. Here's the path right up through here. It's hard to see, but off we go again. Okay, so we are getting very close now, about 800 meters away, and my buddy marked where Crash Hill is with some orange ribbons. So if you look close enough, there are some orange ribbons right over there. That's where Crash Hill is. That's where the plane crashed. Port Harmon. And over here is the crossing, Stephenville Crossing. Too bad it wasn't a clearer day. The video would have came out better, but that's all I can do. Well, the last 1,000 meters has been quite a challenge, and it ended up being close to, I'd say, 3,000 meters, because it's just terrible for walking through here. And I had to zigzag and avoid everything, but I made it to Crash Hill. Here's what's left of the old headstones, raised crosses. I'm going to work my way over to the monument here now. This is awesome. There it is. Here's all the names of people that were on the plane. Some of them were infants, which is very sad. All the nameplates are down there that was on the crosses. And as you've seen, the crosses are pretty well deteriorated over time because of age. And the view up here is really something else. There's Stephenville. If you look closely, right down there, there's a cabin by that pond. That's pretty cool. The story is the plane wreck, what they did was on the side of the mountain here, and they blasted rock and it buried over the plane wreck. But what we're hoping for is to find some debris of it on the side of the mountain. It looks like it could be a little bit of a rough hike, but it can't be anything worse than what we just went through to get here. I'll tell you, the last 1,000 meters, if you're ever coming in here to hike, it is treacherous. It's really something. The next trip I brings in, I'm going to bring in a little mini battery powered chainsaw, cut some of the bad limbs out of the way, make it a little easier going, but definitely not for the faint of heart. I'll tell you, this is something else to get here. We did put up some ribbons for most of the trail, for the easiest route we found to take. Okay, so we just left Crash Hill site, started walking down the side of this mountain behind me, and I'd say it's about a 60 to 70 degree. Everything's covered in moss, and it is extremely dangerous. But made it in anyway. Now we just came across some plane wreck stuff, and going to show you what we find here. This is the first thing we found. Not sure what it was, but it was part of the airplane. Probably some kind of cooler or something. It must be stainless because it's shiny and not corroded or rusted or anything. So, and up further here we see more stuff, so we're going to hike up there now and see what we find. Here's the next piece of the wreckage we found, part of the plane. Not sure what part it is, but definitely interesting. Anybody knows what any of these parts are that we find, just let me know in the comments. It would be greatly appreciated. Maybe flip it over, see what's on the other side there.
It looks pretty cool, man.
Yeah, it's got some kind of intake right there. Definitely cool. Okay, so here's the next piece of the plane wreckage. That's actually a porthole window right there. Some fittings right there. And like I said, I don't know much about these planes, but this crash happened in 1946. And the plane had a big letter O there, and around the corner there's a V. And it was overseas, what was it, Ridge?
Overseas Airlines. That's where that piece of wreckage is.
Overseas Airlines. That's the piece right there that you see in that picture. Really cool. And there's more up there. Apparently there's a couple of engines here too, so we're going to get that on video too.
3 for sure.
3 engines for sure, yeah. So it had to be a 4-engine plane.
Yep.
Like I said, this hike is extremely steep. I wouldn't recommend anybody doing it. It's a very steep incline. Like, Reg is having a hard time reaching up there to the next piece. It's just so steep, it's crazy.
I think there were 9 piston engines.
Yeah? Okay, so just came across the first engine. The rotary engine. Very cool.
I'm thinking the other one should be...
See some gears in there. Hard to believe, eh? This was once something that was flying in the air. And just above it, oh, sorry for the fingers, is the housing for the engine, which I'm going to work my way up to next. It's only right there in front of me, but it still takes a couple of minutes to get there because of the extreme climate here. Okay, so that's about as close as I'm going to get to it, but there you go. That was the housing for the engine. One of the engines, anyway. There's pieces of metal and everything through here everywhere. And where everything is covered in moss, I could imagine I'm probably walking on a lot of interesting stuff too. Which is too bad, you know. I think the next trip in here might be in the fall time. Probably be able to see more. And over here...
some kind of... oh, it's carburetor.
Carburetor. Really, eh?
Yeah, look at it.
Jeez, eh? Very cool.
And the carburetor was built in Chicago, Illinois.
Here, if anybody wants to see what the info is. And And that right there, what do you think that is, Reg?
I think it's some kind of a fuel tank.
Fuel tank,
Look
maybe?
how nice and it's bent
Or it
up.
could be a septic tank too.
I'll take a sniff.
I'm pretty sure it's cleared out by now.
Oh yeah. Like for something that's supposed to have been in a fire, like I don't know, man. Look how like it's just bent up, but it's in wicked shape. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the colors.
Aircraft metal. Nothing but the best. Well, neither one of us knows what that is, but it's some kind of cylinder. Definitely off the plane. Pretty cool looking. And just over from that is engine number 2, and this one's pretty complete. You can see all the bolts were all sheared off. With the impact that hit it, I can understand why.
Weird. Number 4 engine.
Now, Reg just found the 4th engine, so all 4 engines are accounted for. I'm just showing some internals. There's the inside of her. This is the 2nd engine, still on. Flies up here are crazy. And just for reference, that pond down there is called Alder Pond. And I'll tell you this, I'll say it again, this is a crazy hike. Wouldn't recommend it unless you're in good shape, and I'm not in good shape, and it's very challenging for me. So behind Ridge there's the 3rd engine. And there's moose droppings on the side of this mountain. I mean, how did they do that? There's the 3rd engine. She's just barely sticking out of the ground there. Here's another piece of the plane itself. And it looks like it's charred from heat, which I imagine it did catch on fire when it did crash. I just found a piston over there, and right up there in the distance, right up there, is the fort plane engine for the plane.
I don't know if that's it. I don't know if it is a piston. What is it?
Okay, so here's engine number 4 up close. Yeah, so we're only going to find so much of this because years ago, when they found the plane, they blasted it over the side of the mountain, covering most of it, so we're only finding debris that didn't get covered really. And this looks like maybe a piece of landing gear. Do see some kind of little wheel down there on it. 2 wheels. And maybe it might be landing gear, we're not really sure. And there's some more up ahead of us, and there's some more right there too. I'm going to work to.
A piece of wing.
And probably a piece of wing over there. And that's my look from where I'm to right now. You can see some debris down there. I already videotaped it, just from a different angle. We've been putting ribbon markers there, so people can find stuff easier. If anybody does decide, I wouldn't recommend coming to find the plane crash itself, because extremely difficult. I mean extremely. So Reg is over that way a bit, so I'm gonna try to make my way over there, and apparently he found a big chunk of the plane over there, so I'm gonna go check that out now. Okay, so this is a fairly big chunk of the plane. It's mixed in with rocks, so it looks like it could possibly be part of a wing, maybe. Almost looks like a fuel gauge sender there. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, there's more pieces over there too. All kinds of pieces here. I'm not going to hike over to that because I'll probably hurt myself trying to get to it. So rugged, it's unreal. Okay, so found a very big piece of the plane. We're not sure what part it is, but
I'm pretty sure some kind of controls there, whether it be for landing gear or for the cockpit area. It's hard to say. I'm sure someone might know when they see this video and give me some insight on it. This is connected to it. Looks like a porthole window here. Pretty interesting though. After finding quite a bit of the plane here, really. On to the next spot. Here's another piece.
Oh, another carburetor.
Carburetor. Aye, this stuff is just scattered out everywhere here. I'm thinking maybe this is part of a wing, I'm guessing, because of the length of it, but I really don't know. Some pretty big pieces though. I was just looking for markings, but we're not really seeing any yet. But it's been here a long time too, so. I can't get much better footage than what I'm getting just because of the slopes we're on here, but I'm getting what I can anyway. Get the underneath of this one. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but the flies are crazy here. Soon time to get out of here, but we're just seeing what we can see anyway. Alright, so we just got back to the grave site. That was the most challenging part of the journey, going from right here to the plane crash. Most people don't even know there's still pieces of the plane around here, but there is. And I guess the reason most people don't know is because where it's to. I mean, it's just an insane place to try to get to hiking. Like, really, you should have a rope tied off on top of the mountain and use it to guide yourself down. It's that rough. And definitely won't be going back to the plane crash again. There's not a chance. It's just way, way too hard. So we're going to rest up here for a bit. Ridge there stuffing his face. And then we're going to get ready to head her back out. It's about a roughly 2-hour hike from here to where we parked the quads. So I guess that's going to wrap up this video. If you look behind me, you can see Stephenville area. It's harder to see on camera, of course, compared to being here in person. It's just amazing up here for the views. So yeah, I'll throw in a bit of drone footage there at the end, and hope you guys enjoyed it. If you're not subscribed already, please subscribe, like, comment, and all that good stuff. And until the next one.